Story name: The Chase. Uncovering the shadows and the girl with the wolf tattoo. Collection: The Book of Secrets from the Library of the Unwritten. Chapter 1. As she stood alone on the rooftop, Aurora couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. She turned slowly, surveying the empty space, but saw nothing out of the ordinary. Just as she was about to dismiss the feeling of paranoia, a hand reached out and grabbed her from behind, muffling her scream with a gloved hand. She struggled, but the assailant was too strong, dragging her toward the edge of the building. As they neared the edge, Aurora managed to free herself for a moment and turned to face her attacker. She was shocked to see a masked figure with piercing blue eyes, but before she could react, they pushed her off the rooftop. Aurora felt for what felt like an eternity before slamming onto a car below. She tried to move, but intense pain shot through her body. As she lay there, gasping for breath, she realized the masked figure was still there, watching her. "You should have stayed out of this, Aurora," the figure said, its voice distorted by the mask. "Now you're just collateral damage," she said. Aurora struggled to comprehend the situation, but her instinct kicked in. She had to get away no matter the cost. She managed to crawl towards a nearby alleyway, the figure following closely behind. Chapter 2. As she reached the safety of the alley, Aurora looked around frantically for a way out. She noticed a small grate in the ground and, despite her injuries, crawled towards it as fast as she could. She managed to pry it open and slipped inside just as the figure caught up to her. The darkness was suffocating, and Aurora could barely breathe as she crawled through the tight, claustrophobic tunnels. But she pressed on, knowing that her life depended on it. She could hear the figure's footsteps above her, growing louder and closer by the second. Eventually, Aurora emerged from the tunnels, gasping for air. She looked around frantically, but the figure was nowhere to be seen. She tried to make sense of what had just happened, but her mind was a blur. All she knew was that she had to keep moving to stay alive. As she stumbled through the empty streets, Aurora began to piece together what had happened. She had stumbled onto something big, something dangerous, and the masked figure was willing to do whatever it took to keep it a secret. But she wasn't going to let them get away with it. With renewed determination, Aurora set out to uncover the truth. no matter how dangerous it might be. She knew that the masked figure was still out there, watching her every move, but she wasn't afraid. She had survived their first encounter, and she was ready to fight back. The chase had just begun. Chapter 3. Over the next few days, Aurora used all her investigative skills to piece together the clues and find out who the masked figure was and what they were after. She knew it was dangerous, but she couldn't shake the feeling that she was onto something big. One night, as she sat alone in her apartment, Aurora received a mysterious message on her phone. It was a single word: tonight. Without hesitation, Aurora grabbed her bag and headed out into the night. She knew she was taking a risk, but she couldn't ignore the possibility of finally uncovering the truth. Chapter 4. As she arrived at the designation location, Aurora's heart began to race. The place was deserted, except for a lone figure standing in the shadows. It was the masked figure, the one who had tried to kill her. "What do you want from me?" Aurora demanded, trying to keep her voice steady. "You've been asking too many questions," the figure replied, stepping forward into the light. It was a woman with dark hair and piercing blue eyes. "But you are also resourceful. That's why I'm giving you a chance," the figure said. "A chance for what?" Aurora asked, suspicious. "To join me," the woman said, holding out a hand. "We are on the same side, Aurora. You just don't know it yet." Aurora hesitated, weighing her options. She knew that accepting the woman's offer would mean entering a dangerous world of secrets and lies. But she also knew that it might be her only chance to uncover the truth. With a deep breath, Aurora took the woman's hand and followed her into the darkness. She didn't know what the future held, but she was determined to find out. As they walked deeper into the night, Aurora couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. But she pushed the thought aside, knowing that she had made her choice. She was in this now, for better or for worse. The night was just beginning, and Aurora had no idea what lay ahead. But one thing was for sure: the chase was far from over.